Hey guys, I'm Sean Weddle, and welcome back to the kitchen of Our Wild Harvest. All right guys, so today we're going to be doing some spare ribs or St. Louis cut ribs. We got two beautiful racks of ribs here we got from our local butcher. We're going to go ahead and prepare these on the smoker. We're going to be smoking over hickory wood. So again, two nice full meaty sets of ribs here. You can trim these up into nice, beautiful slabs. You can leave them just the way they are. I'm gonna do a little bit of trimming to them, but the first thing we need to do to prep our ribs is we have to get the membrane off the back side of the ribs. The easiest way that I found to do it, one of two methods, you can either take a spoon and the handle of the spoon and get up underneath of the ribs with the membrane. You can just grab a paper towel, reach in here, grab that membrane and just start peeling it off. And as you can see, with grabbing with the paper towel, it gives you a little bit extra grip to be able to grab a hold of that and just start peeling it off. So we get all of that peeled off. Trust me guys, by pulling that off, it's going to provide a lot better barbecue once you go to eat your ribs. Get as much of that off as we can. All right, go ahead and stop it. So now that we have the membrane off the back of our ribs and trimmed up a little bit of the fat, again, I'm not going to really worry about this bone or trimming and squaring everything up. We just have some friends coming over. So I like to use yellow mustard just as a binder. It doesn't really impart any flavor onto your ribs. It just helps the rub stick to your ribs. Helps the rub stick to your ribs a whole lot better. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and give a nice, generous coat of our mustard. And then with clean hands, we're just going to go ahead and rub all of the mustard into our ribs. Get under that little flap there. Rinse. And now we're ready for our rub. Again, just some of my favorite rub that I have made up. Just give a light seasoning on the back side. That side's done. Give it a good pat just to get all that rub in contact with the meat. And flip that over. And now we're going to continue the same process on the front side. I go a little bit more generous on the top side of our rib since this is going to be the top up. Just a little heavier application. And that's it guys. So then all we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and do the same process on the second rack of ribs. We'll see you out of the smoker. All right, so now our pit's up to 300 degrees. Again, we're smoking over hickory wood today. So we're going to transfer both of our racks into the smoker. As you put your racks onto the smoker, go ahead and get them situated in the shape in which you would like to have them come off. So if you want to bunch them up a little bit to get your ribs together so there's not so much room in between, because once you get them set, that's how they're going to stay during the entire smoke process. So we're going to smoke these for about 2 hours. That should bring us up to an internal temperature of 165. Once we get to 165, we're going to bring them back into the kitchen. We're going to wrap, and then we're going to make some love and some goodness inside of some aluminum foil packets. All right, guys, so we're about an hour and a half or so on the smoker. Ribs are looking great. Let's go and check them with our temp pen. Oh yeah, 165, 167. Check them in the thick portion back here on this one. Oh yeah, we're right there, guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pull them off of the smoker. They've already got enough smoke into the ribs, into the meat. We're going to get them inside, get them wrapped up. That way we can get them tender. One of the ways you can check your ribs to see if they're done or how tender they are is the bend test. See how they bend, but they're not breaking apart. So that means we still got a good bit left to go to get these ribs tender. They're pretty well cooked. They just need to become tender. So that's all we're going to do. We'll transfer them into our aluminum pan to get them inside and get them wrapped. All right, guys, now we're back in to the kitchen off the smoker. So we have our ribs laid out on our aluminum foil. All I did was I took some aluminum foil, folded some edges together to give myself a nice wide sheet. If you can get extra wide aluminum foil, I would recommend that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to be basically making our own sauce, our own glaze inside of our aluminum foil packs. What I like to use is just regular stick butter. So that's going to be our first ingredient. Just get a couple nice pats of that over our ribs. And again, once this goes back onto the smoker, we're going to be obviously reintroducing it to the heat. So all these ingredients are going to incorporate together, like I said, to create a nice glaze inside of our foil pack. So that we're just going to get some brown sugar. Just sprinkle that all over the top. And as you notice, our meat side is down. With that, and we're going to put it back onto the smoker the exact same way. What that's going to do is once it creates that glaze, the meats and the ribs is going to be setting in that. So you're basically basting and steaming inside of your full pack. So to this set of ribs, then I'm going to drizzle a little bit of honey. Once again, we're just creating a nice glaze that's going to create a nice sauce for our ribs. I will not put any barbecue sauce on these ribs. It's all going to be from our rub, and then this special treatment that we're giving these ribs now that they're going to go back on. All right, one of the things that I forgot to mention is you're going to have some of these little drippings down off the bone. Just go ahead and pick those off. You don't want to be eating any of that stuff. You can if you want to, I just don't like to. So now that we have all of our ingredients on our ribs, we're just going to go ahead and wrap these up. Just remember, don't wrap them so tight because we're going to have to get back into these a little later on. Take and fold it over one time or so. Again, it helps a lot if you have extra wide aluminum foil just because of how big some of these racks of ribs can get. And that's our first rack. Now we're going to go ahead and grab our second rack. And this one here I'm going to do a little bit different than the first set. So I'm going to still use my butter. Again, we've got a nice base for our glaze and our sauce that these are going to finish cooking into. And then I'm going to use some molasses on this one. Just drizzle that all over it. Nice, be a different flavor than completely different flavor than what the first set of ribs are. And we're just going to grab our foil. Get that twisted up, get that steam locked in. Fold our edges over. And that's going to be it. So now we're going to take and transfer both of our racks of ribs back out into the smoker. And we're gonna let these go for approximately another hour and a half or 2 hours because we're looking for an internal temperature of 200 degrees. You can either use a temperature probe to get you to that 200 degrees, or you could do a nice test with one of the bones. If you grab one of the bones and start to slide it and pull on it, and if it feels like it's getting ready to pop out of the meat, you know you're done. All right, so now that we're back out the smoker, all we're gonna do is transfer our wrapped ribs back in. I'm gonna take my temperature probe. I'm gonna insert it up into the fatty portion, or the meatier portion, I should say, of our ribs. That way I make sure we get a good internal temperature of 200 degrees. And once we hit 200, we're gonna go and pull them off. We'll be ready to eat. All right, guys, we've already hit 200 degrees on our ribs. So we're gonna go ahead and get them pulled off. Get them back inside, let them set for a little bit. Take a peek inside the foil and see what they look like. Hey guys, we're back into the kitchen now. We brought the ribs in. They've rested for approximately 15 minutes. Once you pull anything out of the oven or off the smoker, you need to make sure you have a rest time. Those meats and fibers have been under constriction, under the cooking at a high temperature for a long time. So it gives the meat fibers a chance to relax and pull some of that juice back in. So let's go ahead and come on over here and open these ribs up out of our foil. Yeah, that's perfect. So as you see, we're starting to have some degradation of the meat fiber off the back of the ribs. And you see if it, just take one of those bones and they'll just pull right on out, okay? That is perfect. So we're just gonna take this rack, flip it over if we can. That's beautiful. So there's our one rack of ribs. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Transfer that to our platter. Now we're gonna grab our second rack. Zoe's in the background. She wants to get into some of these ribs here in a minute too. Oh yeah. Take a look at these guys. Once again, you have the meat pulling back off the bones. Look, it's just pulling right out, guys. That's how you know you have a perfect rack of ribs as far as your doneness goes. Again, we're not saucing these ribs at all. We're just gonna serve them just like this. I'm gonna take my knife, cut along the edges, split them up into each individual bone. We'll be good to go. We'll join us outside in just a second.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the kitchen. So today we're gonna make a pineapple strawberry salsa. It's really warm out today in Maryland, so it's a great summer treat. And I've actually went ahead and cut my pineapple to make actual pineapple boats. And the reason why I did that is it's really nice to take this salsa and then serve it out of the pineapple boat for your bowl. But we're gonna combine it all into the bowl and let it refrigerate, and then later on I'll put it into the pineapple boat. Finishing up cutting up this pineapple, let me tell you, it is a ripe pineapple. It's delicious. I always try to buy the golden pineapples. They always seem to be fresh and sweet. If you don't know how to pick a pineapple in the store, the best way to do it, if the pineapple would be together, obviously you would pick the leaf that's closest to the center and pull it out. And if it slides out, it's pretty ripe. And this one is amazing. If you can see this beautiful color, there's lots of juice in here that will be good. It will help make it sweet for the salsa. We're gonna go ahead and work on the strawberries. We're going to cut up the strawberries. These are local berries, they're beautiful. All the strawberries are chopped. We're gonna add them into the pineapple. Just remember, try to keep these pieces small. You are gonna be eating salsa. Please do remove the hulls before you put them in the stems. This is not something you want to leave the hulls on for. So pretty small pieces, as you can see. These are also very ripe, very juicy. Lots of natural fruit juice going into this salsa. We also have a red onion to chop, and we also have 2 tomatoes to chop. Any choice that you like of the tomatoes. Onions would be your choice. I love a good red onion. It's very nice, bitey, but has the sweet taste to it. So I'm going to add a red onion on. Plus, it adds beautiful color to the salad. And like I said, the tomatoes would be of your choice. Romas are the best to use for this. Now we have the tomatoes, the red onions are cut, just trying to dice them. Just remember, this is a salsa, so we have to keep the pieces small. This recipe doesn't take any time at all. It's just you need to make sure all the pieces are chopped. So the red onion's going in. It's a good onion, guys. My eyes are watering. And the tomatoes also have lots of juice. So if I was you, definitely make this up ahead of time. We have friends that will be coming over this evening, so I have plenty of time. It needs to be in the fridge at least 30 minutes. You can make it a day ahead easily. So this is fresh cilantro, about a 1/3 cup. And literally just roll it, chop it. With the cilantro, you can use everything. You can use the stems with the leaves. Very fragrant. I mean, the cilantro smells amazing. As soon as you chop it, kind of reminds you of salsa. Let's get all those pieces chopped real small. All right, the cilantro is all going in. Love salads where you can just dump them in, stir them up, and let them all come together. This is about 2 tablespoons or squeeze from 1 whole lime. And then we're gonna put some jalapenos in. I don't like spicy, but this is just gonna add that little bit of kick that you need to remind you of a salsa. You can use about 1/2 to a whole of a fresh jalapeno, or you can use canned jalapenos. Remember, if you don't like the hot, take out as many seeds as you can. And then we have just about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, just enough. Don't want it too salty with the fruit that's in there. And now we're just gonna stir it up. I will be making the cinnamon tortilla chips that we're gonna make. So easy, but so yummy. And it really just highlights the fruit taste. Look at all those colors. Summertime is here. I can't wait. I already tasted the strawberries and the pineapple. They were definitely ripe, so can't wait to taste them all together. And there you have it. There's our pineapple strawberry salsa. So the fun part of the side part of the salsa, we're gonna make cinnamon tortilla chips. And literally you just take tortillas, any flour tortilla, not a quarter tortilla, but a flour tortilla. You can use any size. They have 6, 8, 10, they have the big ones. And pizza cutter is the easiest thing to do. We're gonna just make 4 cuts. That's a little wonky. So I have a 1/3 cup of sugar, and I have this little sugar cinnamon shaker. You don't have to use it, you could use it in a bag. And then I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Just gonna stir that up. It's kind of like if you ever ate cinnamon toast as a kid. And then I have a stick of butter. And this recipe is for 10 tortillas. And literally just baste butter on that tortilla. They're gonna be nice sized chips. So you can use whatever size you want for whatever size you wanna do. I am gonna do both sides. The reason why is it comes out crispier. Just lay that on the baking sheet. My oven's at 350, and we're gonna bake it for about 8 to 10 minutes, however crispiness you want for your chips. Little pizza triangles there. Sprinkle the cinnamon sugar over them, as much goodness as you want. All right, we're gonna stick these chips in. Top rack, 350 for about 8 to 10 minutes. Our timer just went off, so let's check the cinnamon chips in the oven. Oh yes, look, the house smells amazing. And see, those are gonna be our fun little dippers with our strawberry pineapple salsa. So here we have it. We have our strawberry pineapple salsa and our pineapple boats, along with our cinnamon and sugar chips.
Can't wait to dig in.
You should have seen our garden video last night.
All right, Renee, what do you think?
They're very good. Very moist. I don't really have a favorite though. I like them both about the same. Very, very good. I mean, look, it came right off the bone. Very good.
I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, which one you like better?
No, I like them both the same.
Both the same.
Yeah.
All right, guys. It's gonna be a toss-up. Both of them are extremely good. I have to say I do like the one that I used, the molasses one, better. I love pork ribs, but I'm not huge on a lot of sweet with pork. It's very, both of them are very good. You're just not getting quite as much sweet on the molasses rib as you are on the honey and the brown sugar. Do me a favor, if you wish you were eating these ribs, smash that like button. And as always, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well, and click the notifications to make sure you're notified every time we come back with a video. And as always, keep it wild.